Hello, this is Cuckoo, and I'm right here at Super Booth 2025 with this guy here, and this MIDI controller caught my eye yesterday, and I just had to come back to see what it was.
Yeah. So thanks for stopping by. I'm Thomas from Neuzeit Drop.
Right. How do you pronounce this? What is the last letter?
That's a T, an I and a T.
It is an I and a T.
Yeah.
I was like, is that a pie or is it? Yeah. Okay, so Neuzeit.
Yeah, it's German for
new
new
times.
age.
Yeah, new age.
New times, new age. I
Yeah.
thought in English it was something like kindergarten or
Yeah.
Rockasek, so turns
Yeah.
out it's not.
Yeah.
So Neuzeit is the correct pronunciation. In
Yeah.
German it works well as a brand name.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Right.
this is Drop, our new MIDI control center for live performers, especially hardware live performers that have a setup like this with
Nice.
several hardware boxes. And yeah, our goal is to make a real problem solver for acts like this,
Nice.
where you can have a very clean interface for as a remote control for functions that are usually buried up in submenus and have macro control over everything. And yeah,
So
I think,
it's
yeah.
both in the MIDI and CV domain?
Yes, it's mainly MIDI.
Yeah.
We also have two CV outs
Yeah.
and two CV ins, mainly used for clock signals, so
Yeah.
you can clock it to incoming
Yeah.
clock or output a MIDI clock. Yeah.
So if you were to go deeper into CV, you would have a MIDI to CV expander.
Yes, for
Yeah.
now we will release our own version of Expander next year.
Oh,
but
really?
there are a whole bunch of good MIDI to CV
Yeah.
converters
Yeah.
out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's based on MIDI
Yeah.
mostly. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go through this.
So.
Looks nice.
Yeah, where to start? I think the main feature is the snapshot functionality. So we have 20 snapshots here, also 20 banks of 20 snapshots. So the simplest way is I go to jump mode here and I can just jump between snapshots, and as I press the button, it changes the value of all the controls, be it faders, mutes, rotary encoders, push functionality. I can now dial up this small pot here and introduce a fade time. So it slowly
nice.
transitions between scenes.
Oh, sick.
And the real fun starts, I have to show it when it plays, in combination with a master clock we have. So this is a clock that runs in 8 bars, 16 bars, 32, or weird values in between, whatever I want. And when I hit play, the live set starts playing. Loop like this. Now I turn up the fade time and we slowly transition to the next snapshot. So it makes a build up for me. So best case scenario, hands go in the air, people are expecting a sudden change now, so what do? I only have 2 hands, but lucky there's the drop function. I just go to drop, schedule the next snapshot, and when it reaches the top of the clock, we're off to the next scene.
Oh, nice.
And hopefully everybody's happy again in the audience. I can go on, make the next build up, do some crazy stuff, really mess it up, schedule the next drop. And we're back in the next scene.
Nice.
And I can do this all night long.
So in this case, where is the master clock?
In this case, this is the master clock.
Yeah.
But each device connected has its own MIDI cable, so we have a lot of connectivity here in the back. Yeah, 4 times MIDI in, MIDI out, also 2 USB-C ports, as well as CV clock if you want. And as every device has its own cable, we can also introduce individual millisecond delays for
wow.
each clock, so that everything runs nicely and is perfectly in sync. Also, can add a pre-delay, so some devices run in advance.
Oh wow.
If you route back the audio into Ableton or something,
Yeah.
that is really in time. Yeah.
Nice. I just need to feel the faders. This feels good, like smooth, but still light. But yeah, it feels good.
Yeah. They have quite a high resistance. It's pretty much the highest resistance we could get.
Yeah.
For encoders like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
And they're all pushable as well.
Yeah.
You can configure it on the everything on the device, by the way, how each control behaves. So, for example, this is a simple on-off button right now. Same for this one. These here will reset when I push it to a certain value. In this case, to the center, because this is like a high-pass, low-pass filter
Yeah.
I've configured. This one resets always to the left. So yeah, it's highly configurable. You can color code it to your needs.
Yeah.
You can label each control so that it shows the name here. So this is a cutoff filter, this is VCF envelope amount. So if I come back to my live set half a year later and I forgot everything,
Yeah.
it's easier to recall for me.
Yeah. Is there some sort of project handling or?
Yes,
Yeah?
of course. So we have an SD card in the back, and it can store practically an unlimited number of projects in a human readable format, so that it can also edit it by hand if you wish to. Otherwise, all the editing is done on the device itself, because in my opinion that's super important, to have it a self-contained box, so that in 20 years from now this box still works as a standalone
Yeah,
unit.
yeah.
As part of a sustainable concept somehow. Yeah.
Nice.
But you're also pretty fast in configuring everything, so you can move around the controls, copy paste. There's MIDI learn to speed up the process. You can connect an external keyboard, so you can also type in the name, which saves a lot of time. And
Does it have like MIDI host as well?
yes,
Oh wow.
the USBs can be MIDI host or MIDI slave, so I can connect a keyboard like this. I can also connect Ableton. I coded a small script so that we can have a clip launching with this small pad if 4x4 is enough for you.
Yeah.
In many cases it is. We will also add Bitwig and maybe Logic if we're lucky.
Yeah. You never know with Apple.
Yeah. You have macro controls here, so each controller can send out up to 8 different MIDI messages with different curves as well. So you don't have to bother much if once it's set up. For example, this high-pass filter, I have one in the octa track, but I also have an analog high-pass filter here.
Yeah.
And they need different ranges, different response curves. I can dial it up just perfectly to my taste, as I like it.
So how many destinations can one knob have?
8 destinations. Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope that's enough.
Yeah.
Future
8.
works out.
8.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, for most things,
Yeah.
it's plenty.
Yeah. You set up the devices here. So in this case, I have 4 devices, like the rhythm, the octa track, the Döpfer voice, and our warp. I can set the default channel and the port it's connected to. So if I want to switch ports later on, I just have to do it in one place and don't have to change every control. And another very important part is a MIDI merge functionality.
Oh, nice.
So this also acts kind of as a MIDI brain for translations and a bit of MIDI note modification of what's coming in. So I can merge up the data coming from the keyboard here with the data coming from the sequencer of the octa track.
Yeah.
I can filter out message types so that my MIDI signals I'm sending to the device is not cluttered with anything I wouldn't need.
Oh, nice.
I can
So how many features can you filter and merge and everything in MIDI?
Sorry?
Everything MIDI?
Everything MIDI,
Yeah.
except SysX.
Yeah,
Sorry
yeah,
for that.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
too customized. But otherwise, everything like banks and switches, program changes, 14-bit messages.
Sick.
Everything that MIDI 1.0 has.
Yeah.
Can also transpose the incoming notes by octaves or by semitones, or have a note gate, so that a static sequencer like this is also a little more playable and accessible.
Wow, that's so feature rich, so much stuff packed into it. And it seems like it's all very useful.
I hope so. It comes from a lot of painful experiences playing live myself.
But is this your first product? I've never seen you before.
No. We come from Eurorack.
Yeah?
We have a bunch of Eurorack modules. This is what we got started with in 2020. The Orbit, kind of an analog destroyer, bit crusher. This was our latest, that's the Warp. It's a polyphonic synth voice with additive and wavetable synthesis. It's a fully polyphonic, self-contained synth that also supports MIDI MPE. So it also works quite well as a standalone unit.
Yeah.
We have the Quasar over here, which does 3D audio. This one. Yeah, sorry. Go back.
Scaring away the customer.
Sorry. Besides that, we're customer friendly.
Well, nice. Is
Yeah.
this ready to be sold now, or is it out?
It's gonna be sold in August or September, like
Yeah.
late summer. Yeah. They're shipping the factory is shipping the first batch on Monday.
Wow.
So we will receive it by the end of the month, I hope. Then
Yeah.
do some beta testing,
Yeah.
intensive beta testing.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and I think August, September we will be
Cool.
pretty much ready. Yeah.
Have you decided on the price yet?
Yes. 799 euros retail price here in Germany.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And where do you have like retailers, or you sell yourself?
No, we have retailers. You will find it at the major retailers.
Yeah.
Like Schneidersladen, Thomann,
Yeah.
Perfect Circuit, and yeah, all the other products are also available worldwide.
Yeah.
So we have quite good connections to retailers wherever you live in the world. Yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you so much. I thought this was, yeah, it seems like a real problem solver, and also these smooth transitions. That is like,
I hope so.
Yes.
To
Yeah.
help many life acts out there.
yeah, nice.
Thanks for stopping by.
Thank you so much,
Yeah.
man.
It was a pleasure, man.
Yeah, thanks.
Cool.